Well, I'm really excited just to share with you guys just an incredible testimony that we've had here. I'm here in this beautiful Methodist church in Leeds, England, but we were actually this past Monday in a congregational church with a couple of hundred people. It's a very tiny congregational church, only supposed to seat 180 people, but it was packed out. And in the middle, right when I was starting to speak, a man, his head contorts, his facial features turn to the side, his arms just wither up, and he begins to turn fiercely red and stiffen up. His mother begins to scream, please help, my son is dying, my son is dying, and raced over, and she said a year ago he'd had a stroke and lost his inability to speak, and we began to pray for him, and I began to bind the spirit of infirmity. Things began to seem to intensify. His lips began to turn from purple to blue-black. Turns out there was a doctor right beside me, and he was praying with me, and several people around started gathering around. We laid him on the floor, began to rebuke the spirit of death, and the man just breathing, he just was doing this, what we call what they call here a death gurgle, and he just like, and then stopped. And the doctor was checking his pulse. I had my hand on his heart, and he was just from, if we had monitors there, he was flatlined. But all of a sudden, the mother screams out, he's dead, and the doctor looked at me and shook his head like he's gone, and said that. He said he's gone. And I began to pray, began to rebuke the spirit of death, began to command life to come back into him, and then he just, after about 2 minutes, just began to breathe, and it was amazing because he was starting to turn this blue color. He had already gone completely white, lips black, eyelids black, and then his pupils fully dilated. And then all of a sudden he began to breathe, pupils began to go back into place, color began to come back, and literally within 2 minutes, he had been gone for about 2 minutes, but he literally stands to his feet, and he was just completely back from the dead. And so doctor wrote up a report. It was amazing. Several people there witnessed it. Just an incredible curse. Went to the hospital, saw him the next day, and he was perfectly fine. Prayed for his shoulder because his shoulder got hurt, and then he was completely healed, fully talking, fully restored. It was just an incredible miracle. So yes, Jesus is still raising the dead, and I'm so excited to be able to participate in that. With us Monday night, and when we were over by Preston, and I just asked him, I said, you just mind sharing from your, because he was sitting you were right across the aisle from the guy. So anyway, if you don't know what we're talking about, you'll figure it out as he tells you, but I'll let him just give that version if you will.
Well, I ended up actually at the meeting because a guy in Florida, a pastor who I've met over Facebook when I share posts, he actually sent me a clipping. Robby doesn't know this. He sent me a clipping saying you need to be in this meeting, and I thought it was saying the actual clipping, what was in the paper, I thought it was this pastor's photo, but it was a bad picture. So I thought, oh, you're coming to England? And then he never replied, so I searched and I found out that Robby were coming. So he said, so I set out, and then this pastor says you're going to be blessed when you're there. So I'm in this meeting, and obviously we're all worshipping God, and this lad's up beside of us. Well, my background is drugs and crime and that, and this lad, I had a bit of a pull towards him, and I'm thinking, has he got the same background with me, like that? But I thought, oh, maybe I'll talk with him after. So we worships, and then Robby starts speaking, and then this lad just goes into this fit and just locks up, shaking. And his mum starts going on about this stroke that he had a year ago and ringing ambulances and all this. Well, Robby just comes walking down as calm as anything, grabs hold of him with this other, what I find out now is a doctor who was behind, who's a pastor in the town, lays him on the floor and just starts like praying for him. But man, he just got worse. It was like we went greyer and greyer, and all I'm trying to pray, but my head's screaming, mouth to mouth. And then at one point, and then at one point I'm thinking lawsuit. That was because
we were all thinking that too.
I'll tell you. But obviously your head screaming one thing, which is the can, but my heart was just praying in tongues and just speaking live. But obviously Robby recognised the spirit of death, and he went, I've seen better corpses, you know. Now, like I say, I'm not a doctor and I can't say I felt his pulse, but believe me, I put a message on Robby's Facebook and said, I honestly believe if Robby weren't there, and I know God did it, but God uses vessels. If Robby weren't there, that family would have been buried in the sun this week. No two ways about it. It took 35 minutes. Well, that was amazing, because Robby turns around and says, the light starts getting up, and I didn't know he couldn't speak properly, but he started speaking. He hugs Robby like he's hugging God. Like not in a bad way, but like a father late, and it was amazing. And then Robby says, take him to the back. I think he's just got off floor. Was he dead? And he says, take him to the back. I think he doesn't need walking, he needs stretchering out. What are you doing? So anyway, I helped him, walked him to the back, and like I said, it took 35 minutes for that ambulance came. But thanks be unto God, the spirit of life in Christ Jesus, just raises people up. So it was amazing.
Amen. Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
Bless you. Bless you. Go on.